G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for episode number 21 of our ATV Skater Templar playthrough, where in between episodes I went back to normal and did a little bit of shopping. Now I went and got the Arcane Spark component, which I'm pretty sure was Black Legion, but it was definitely someone in Homestead. I picked this up because we are going to make a prismatic diamond for our helmet, so let's just go ahead and eat that. I also did a little bit of farming because I was well short on chthonic seals of binding, and while I was doing that farming, I also found this ring, which we are going to replace one of our rings with, and I think it's going to be the Slith Primal ring. And I also found Aldenar's Vanity, which is +1 to both of our masteries. It's got cooldown reduction, it's got energy regen, it's got burn damage, fire damage, aether damage. Like, this would be perfect if only it had that half a second skill recharge to Via's Might. So at present, our skill recharge on Via's Might is, where is it? 1.1 seconds. If I chuck that on, it is now 1.4 seconds. Now I could probably get away with this, but I have a feeling it's going to feel awful, so I'm not going to bother. I am going to swap that one out, and that brings our resistances, yep, they're still fine, which I guess I should have expected, since the only thing I would be losing from swapping that ring out is 18% elemental resistances, and if our vitality went under, well, that's because we don't have a soul shard on there yet. And let's be honest, our elemental resistances are massive. We are huge when it comes to elemental. Okay, I also found a couple other things. So we'll start with the Empowered Mistwalker leggings. If we chuck these on, well, you know what? Let's just have a look at them. We get physical resist movement speed, physique spirit, +2 to Maven Sphere, +2 to Ascension, and a bunch of resistances. So if we chuck that on, we lose a little bit of vitality, but we'll get that back with the soul shard, so that's not a problem. All of these resistances are perfectly fine by swapping the pants over. We also gain a bunch of armor. We will lose some offensive ability, which, not ideal. The other one was these shoulders. We will be going from 400 to 700 armor. That is pretty close to double. That's almost 800 armor. So pretty close to double. We will be losing +2 to Via's Might, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think I care. That flat fire damage also is applied to Via's Might. This is the hit damage, so when you run through something, you kind of bash it with your arm or whatever on the way past, or I guess your main hand, and that is what plus levels in Via's Might gives you, and that is all converted to lightning because of our offhand anyway, so I don't really care about losing that. And I do care about gaining all that armor and actually a decent chunk of resistances, so I'm going to chuck that on as well. And our resistances are now more or less under control. I will chuck a soul shard on the ring there. I'm going to hang on to these two because I know they go into my prismatic diamond. So soul shard on the ring. We're now 84 or higher in all of our resistances. And it is time to do a little bit of crafting. So to make a prismatic diamond, which we went to all that trouble to get the recipe for and then didn't really make one of, you need arcane lens. These are just drops. You need wrathstones. This is essentially just aether crystals crafted into wrathstones. Very, very cheap. You need a radiant gem, which is a molten something, a dense fur, and a... what's the other one? I actually forget what the other one is. Molten, dense, and... no, I give up. Rigid shell. I said it before it came up, I win. And you need a bunch of crystals as well. So I've already crafted that one. Let's go ahead and craft our Arcane Spark, of which you need 12 chthonic seals of binding. So this is the hard part of making this. The rest of it is relatively easy. But those 12 chthonic seals of binding are basically what gates you from making a prismatic diamond. We now have one. And this is going to give us some health, some energy absorb, which I don't care about. The vitality resist I also kind of don't care about. We could take a soul shard off of one of our rings and put something else there. Maybe we put a frozen heart there for some freeze resist. Not sure, but we could do that. This soul shard is actually kind of not really doing much for us. 12% Aether Res, I think we can afford to lose that, and same with the elemental resistance from the runestone. Let's go ahead and swap that over. Ascension, unfortunately, unlike Pneumatic Burst, does not give us any run speed. Okay, so we are going to salvage our helmet. Unfortunately, we are going to have to destroy the runestone to get it off. But, you know, them's the breaks, and when it comes time to get a new hat, we're going to have to destroy this one. I also want to keep my add-on for my Silk Swatch, and I will keep my Scaled Hide as well. Armor is a little bit bad, shall we say. We definitely need to be looking out for some more armor, but while we are doing that, we will at least keep up with it. Now, I've just noticed also, I don't need that poison and acid resistance from the anti-venom salve here. We are 67% over cap, so we could actually take all three of these off, which, you know what, I'm going to take them off my gloves and my chest. And let's go see what we could put on instead. I think for gloves there is a... I can't remember the name of it, but there's one with some burn, frostburn, etc. on it. It's going to be this one? Nope, that's the Chaos one. Okay, this one here. Nope, wrong one again. Where is it? Do I not have one? I swear there's one of these that gives you burn, frostburn, and electrocute. Let's just have a look for burn. You know what? It's that one. Used in hand armor. So we get some burn damage, get some offensive, and the casting speed is probably useful for something, but whatever. Right. As far as our chest, let's see what we can put on there. Pet Snow. What does that also give us? Defensive, all damage. This could be okay for the defensive and all damage, but probably not. This is just going to be health. Defensive ability. Okay, so this is already better than the pet one, so that's out. We could put Ancient Plate on there. More armor absorption, percent increase of all of our armor, physique. This one is a good bet. Chains of Oleron is actually also really good. We're going to go with Chains of Oleron. That offensive ability is looking really juicy, and movement speed is something everybody needs, so I'm going to chuck that on. Now everything has a component. All of our resistances are maxed out. I think we can finally play the game. We are also got to be getting close for... Where is Devil's Crossing? Yeah, we've got to be getting close to Honored for Devil's Crossing, so I think when we kill the Warden, we will get access to these. I don't think any of these are particularly amazing. That one's not bad. As far as our metal goes, it's kind of hard to say no to the metal we have. +2 to Vire's Might, again, that's just the hit damage, so I don't really care. However, the rest of the stats on that are quite nice. We'll see about this one. And then these are all rings and amulets. So if you need a little bit of resistances, Slith Venom is my go-to usually for this point in the game, just for poison and bleeding. This one has Aether Res on it, and I don't really use the other ones. Rifthound Salts. Oh, that's pet resistances, never mind. Yeah. So Slith Venom and Gazer Eye are the ones I have used in the past. It really hurts to do this, it does. Can we actually swap these boots in? Let's find out. No, we cannot. I need that bleeding resistance. Alright, so I'm going to hang on to these boots. I will probably never use them, but I will hang on to them. Let's turn in some quests and not hear any of his stories. we have the fabric for constants here. And we have, if I can get out of the door, we have 2 more jobs to do in Act 1. Now that we are 10 minutes into the video, we can finally start playing. Let's turn this in as well. And let's go do the slith section, of which I need some more scrap. Can I just buy it? Yep. How much do I need? Is it 5? I hope it's 5. It's either 5 or 6. 6 might be the bridge. Okay, yeah, good. Spend iron bits to avoid walking. Laziness with legs. Okay. Alright, so I'm missing some buffs. That's on, that's on. Let's get our 2 pets out. That's already on, that's already on. That one. Right, beautiful. So the good thing about playing a skater is you can pretty much just run through the whole place. And you don't really have to worry too much about things being in the way. Doors blocked? No, it's not. It's only blocked for those plebs who don't have a movement skill for their attack skill. Just run through it. Okay, level 61. What are we putting our points into for level 61? Well, I think it's going to be... Drumroll, please. Maven Sphere up to 12. I'm going to stop there. And then I think... don't really have anything else after this, so we'll go in Ascension for now. I haven't actually looked at the guide for this for quite a while, so I probably should do that. But I also kind of decided that I wasn't going to follow the guide exactly anyway when I started getting a little bit too squishy for my liking. So we're just going to run through here very, very quickly. And there is our target. And she should die very, very quickly. Veloth the Squishy. Let's pick all this up, and we will almost certainly just be turning that into... this is what I get for testing their beta. Okay. We will be turning that into iron bits to replace the ones we spent getting scrap to get in here. Alright. And now let's go play with the Warden. Now, in here there is one more devotion shrine, and actually, what are we up to? The end of the lion. So now we have access to the tree, and we also have access to these 3 down here. I'm going to go for the tree first, just because I think I want that extra healing proc more than I want some stats. Oops, that was the wrong button. That's fine. Alright. Who wants to see us take on the big scary Aether Shrine? What's that? I didn't hear anyone. No? Okay, we'll go. We'll skip it then. That's fine. No one wants to see it. Then we'll just be on our way, and we'll go see the... Oops, I clicked the button by mistake. I think, so far, I think we've been hit. I mean, maybe. Alright. Aether Shrine cleared, no issues. We got some purple boots, which if they have bleeding resistance, may swap into. Bounty Hunter's hat, I don't really care about, but I will check those purple boots. So these have fire and burn damage. These are probably better than the other ones we had. Unfortunately, actually they're not. They kind of are. They're kind of a side grade. But they don't have the resistances I need, so I can't use them anyway. Alright, sorry about that. I could tell you guys didn't want to see that fight, and I slipped, so My bad, and we'll get on with heading towards the warden. I had a feeling that would be not too much of a problem. I didn't realize it would be quite so easy. I'll have to go back and watch the footage and just see if we did actually trigger any of our defensive things. I wasn't paying attention. I was watching the health bar, which I don't think really moved very much. But either way, I am happy with that level of damage. I'm also very happy with the amulet we found with +4 to all max resistances. I just want to mention again just how ridiculously powerful that is. If you take a hit normally with 80% resistance, let's say it does 100 damage, and you resist 80% of it, you take 20 damage. If you resist 84% of it, you take 16, which means, that's double rare, which means that 4% of raw resistances is actually 20% less damage, which is nuts. Like, that is actually crazy. That's also quite fun. I can't believe I've never played a build with Judgment before, because just flinging these monsters all over the place is so much fun. Alright. So, we now have all of our devotion points from Act 1. I think... You know what, I'm not going to risk it. I was about to say I think the pets can handle these on their own, but it's definitely not worth it. Let's go ahead and put 1 point in Tree of Life. That's 8% health. Next up we get some regen, then we get some defensive ability and some more regen, and then we get the Healing Rain proc, which is what this whole tree is really about. Alright. As long as we're here, I'm going to take the opportunity to pick up some Aether Crystals. Which we have now done. So, let's grab the Rift, and we will head on in and say hi to Krieg. Yeah. Now, I didn't notice the totem on the way in, although I didn't exactly look for it at the time, or I should have been. Okay, that was very silly. Do be aware that some of these monsters will explode when you kill them, and if you manage to suck them right on top of yourself, like I just did, they will blow up on your face, potentially kill you. I wasn't thinking about that. Okay, we can see the Aether Warp Totem is there, so I'm going to head down there, but first I'm going to check for the Exalted Stash that has a 2 out of 3, I think, chance of being in here, and it is in here today. The Dawnshard Hauberk, I think, is fire. It is not. We are not wearing that. It's going to convert our fire to... Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that fire will also convert burn into electrocute, so I think we can't use that. Do I have... Okay, Kalidor's Tempest. Our burn damage is 5,800. If I put this on, our burn damage becomes, yeah, way lower. Okay. So, unfortunately, we're not doing that. Let's see if we can't come in the back door, as it were. Here we go. That's a lot of werewolves. Alright, let's turn the loot off. Alright, easy clap. What do we get? Blueprint, Vilescorn Braces. Another piece of the Eastern set. I can't remember if that's the same piece. Where'd it go? I can't remember if that's the same piece as the last one we got. But having 2 pieces of it drop on the character that doesn't need it is a little bit frustrating. Alright. should really do a video of like how to get the sets you need to drop. Actually, probably not, because that video is more or less just going to be get to the level it drops at, and then spam totems until you get it. Which I guess if you really need it, is one way of doing it, but it probably would be quite boring. There we go, someone set us up the bomb again. Spoilers, it was me. I blew me up. Alright, I'm going to grab the Aether Crystals because, as we all know, it is actually impossible to have enough Aether Crystals. Alright, and that leaves just Krieg. Now, I'm not expecting Krieg to be super dangerous, but, you know, we shall see, I guess. Now, you might be asking, am I just going to stand in that goop? And the answer is yes. But I am going to run away from Krieg's stomp, and I am also mindful of his other attacks. So that stomp is the majority of his damage. And down he goes. And he does leave a large amount of goop on the floor when he dies, but that's fine. What do we get? A lightning belt. Okay, no good for us. Right, that's the end of Act 1. So let's go turn it all in. See how we did. We also have Barnabas over here, who we successfully helped take care of his slith issues. Let's vendor all these greens. Now, I don't think any of these blues are really going to be any good for us. Nope. I think at this point we are more or less just replacing MIs with the same MI but higher level. And I think the only ones, I guess boots, gloves, chest, and shoulders are the only items that I'm interested in picking things up off the floor for. You know what? We're not going to use those. You can have that one as well. Let's have a look at these rare rings. Now, this one is obviously no good. This one, however, this is something I would consider buying. So the incorruptible prefix there is the Aether and Chaos resistance. Now, I don't need this, okay? But if you're playing along and you're having issues with your resistances, an item like this could actually just completely fix your resistance problems. Or at least help. That one's no good. What do we got on the chest side? Less armor, so not interested in that. Belts, no. Okay. Let's check old mate over here. No rare jewelry, and that's not to say there's no good jewelry. You can find some pretty good magic rings. Now this one, obviously, the Necromancer's prefix is the +2 to Reaping Strike, but that Ruby Ring of Vitality, that's a bunch of health. That could be good. This one's not good for us, but it's a lot of physical damage, decent amount of physique. Searing of attack, if you're a fire build who actually hits things, this could be good. I don't think any of these are going to be super useful. That one's just good for offensive and defensive ability. I probably wouldn't spend an entire ring slot on this, but if your rings are garbage, or if you happen to have a ring where all of the resistances on it are going into overcaps, then this could be an option for you. Does he actually have... he only has rare weapons. With that said, does he have any... here we go. So, what would we be losing to put this on? A little bit of fire and burn damage. We would gain some spirit, we'd gain some attack speed, and we would get a different proc. I think I prefer the current one we have. So now that we've spent a couple of minutes looking at the loot that the merchants could sell us, alright, I guess we do have to pick that quest up. Talk to old mate here. Alright, and I think we have, yep, we have the required scrap to build the bridge. Okay. Let's go build ourselves a bridge and then get over it. See if we can't do some stuff, as it were. Okay, just while we're here, do we have anything from Forgotten Gods? I don't think any of our items come from there, except obviously endurance. Just off the top of my head, the only item I care about is the Gargoyle Girdle, and honestly, care about is a strong word. I would basically have to do the entire Forgotten Gods expansion, just to get a chance at it, and I don't think I care that much. Now, I am looking out for some fire shoulders, which I did just pick up. So let's have a look at those. Slight armor downgrade. We don't really care about the skills. Reduction in burn duration. Chaos res. Probably not actually going to end up using a pair of those shoulders, but, you know, we'll see. Okay. So they're all dead. Let's just pick up our loot and be on our way. We'll go rescue Stephen Skinner and his family. Well, his family. He's not in any real danger. Although, having said that, he does have that fire torch. I should really check out the stats on that thing before I do this, but it's fine. We will do the right thing, as it were. And the right thing is to stay away from those golems. Same thing with Drew Larkin. We are going to do the right thing again and leave him there to die. And we are not going to kill his partner because his partner will sell us potions. Alright, here we go. Boots of Unseeing Swiftness. These things are fun. I don't know how many of you have actually tried these, but they have 18% movement speed on them. And if you get hit, they have minus 20. I guess... Okay, so my run speed is at the cap. So I don't need these. But if you're at 0% movement speed, these can be fun. They can also be infuriating if you're one of those people who doesn't like suddenly going slower because you got hit. I'm pretty sure it's Morrowind that they're a reference to. Right, so in our devotions, we now go to 1 point in Tree of Life. And we need 2 more. You know what? Let's go get that Exalted Chest in here while we're at it. And we may as well kill Barris Radlith so he can drop us a really nice cold damage shield that I'm not going to be able to use on my other character. Alright. He didn't drop his shield at all. He did drop a one-handed sword blueprint, but we're obviously not going to use that. Alright, and our Exalted Stash here was going to drop us a crossbow. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, so we'll eat that. And I don't think we're going to use any of that, but it is good to know that there are now gloves dropping with considerably more armor on them. Okay, I see you up there, Mr. Totem. Let's go ahead and get level 62. Is that everyone? No, Frost Revenant still. Okay, level 62. Let's go ahead and turn the loot back on. Did we get anything good? Alchemist's Mantle and the Wraithbone Sash. Both of which are kind of not great. The resistances on that are okay though. Right, let's pick all this up. Necromancer's Signet, where is it? So Shattered Reality again is your Aether Chaos stuff. Necromancer's +2 to Master of Death. Don't think so. Is he reflective? That's a lot of elemental stuff on me. I think he was reflective. Didn't get a chance to actually see it, but I would be surprised if he wasn't. Okay, so a couple more Aether Crystals out here. And we have Drew Larkin just down the hill there as well. Alright, let's go talk to Drew. Oh, it's a Zyreddin. We're just going to pretend we didn't call him that particular name. I think he would be quite mad with us. However, on that note, we're up to half an hour, so I'm going to call this a part here. So thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.